Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. Um, See the PowerPoint presentation. I am going to do my best to keep this to finish it at 12:30, and I will save time at the end for questions. Okay, let's get started. So we are organizing your important documents. If you don't know me, my name is Krista Hermance. I'm an estate planning attorney. Our firm is Hermance Law, where we are estate planning mom and estate planning dad. We focus on planning for families with minor children. However, we do planning for all ages. This is our wonderful team of attorneys that work with our clients. We have a very family-oriented practice. So our team, it's all about making sure that that we have time for our families, right? We have flexible schedules, and I think everybody enjoys working at the firm. At least that's what I hear. Okay, so we have offices in Ventura, Santa Clarita, Irvine, Westlake Village, Calabasas, Pasadena, and virtually throughout California, we can serve clients. Okay, so getting into it, why does it matter to organize your important documents? I see this a lot in our practice. We do the estate planning side, which is, the wills and the trusts and getting people ready, that if something ever happened, they have that plan in place. But I also do the other side of estate planning, which is when somebody passes away. And so then I'm dealing with the families trying to, just do everything in wrapping up the estate and going through the stuff and figuring out what the assets are. And this is why I think this is so important. Because I see it all the time and I see the same thing. So why organize the documents? Well, one thing is when you have these documents organized, and I'm going to go through a very exhaustive list, is it allows you to know where these documents are. And so as an example, I find that I will just randomly need my kids' birth certificates, certified copies for like sports or something for school, or when they start a new school. And so by knowing where these documents are in this folder that I've put together, I know immediately where to go and find it. Oftentimes I find people, it's like, oh, I have to go look through these boxes. They might be over here, they might be over here. You just don't know where they are, right? So when you have this system, these documents organized, you know exactly where to go find these documents. I find also is it just helps from a mental perspective of, having this sense of control, knowing where things are. I find it reduces stress because you are organized in this sense. You're not continuing to think about like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I don't know where that is. Right. So it helps from a mental perspective as well. At least it does for me. Another really great point is in where we are in Ventura County is we have a lot of fires, at least recently over the years. And so by having these documents organized in this system, if you had to evacuate your home where, there was a fire warning and you're being evacuated, it's easy to grab this whole folder and be able to just put it with the rest of the stuff that you're taking if you can, right? So it makes it easy in that sense. You're not trying to go through and get everything that you need. You have it all in one place. From the aspect of, when somebody passes away, if an emergency occurs, maybe there's just like a car accident, right? Somebody can step in and be able to see these are the important things, right? These are the important documents to be able to go in and do the things that need to get done, pay the bills, know what life insurance is there, know what benefits there are. And it's really important, right? And that's where I see it the most. Is with families that come in and they just say, we can't find a will, we can't find life insurance paperwork. I know they were paying into a retirement account, we can't find anything, right? That's what I hear all the time. And so then it's families having to physically go through just boxes and file cabinets and things in the garage and just spend all of this time searching through documents trying to find stuff. And that is what I see. The other thing is just making sure that if you have this stuff organized, that, whatever wishes you have, if something happens to you, you can make sure that they're followed. If somebody has a will and they've gone through the process or a trust, if your family can't find it, they don't know what your wishes are, then they're not able to follow your wishes, right? And so it's making sure that this stuff is organized in a sense that somebody's able to get the documentation and be able to do whatever your wishes were. Okay. If at any point you have a question while we're in the middle of this, please feel free to put it in the chat. You can also put it in, can you hear me okay? I just got a message that I'm muted. That's weird. I'm assuming you guys would let me know if I've been talking for this long and you couldn't hear me. If you have any questions or anything, please put them in there and I will try to get to them while I'm talking. If not, I will do it at the end. Okay. So what documents should you have organized? And I don't want to overwhelm you because I know that this process is very overwhelming. Okay, volume could be louder. That's good to know. Thank you for that. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me better? What documents should you have organized? Okay, we'll try one more. Any recommendations for electronically storing important documents securely? I do, and I will talk to that at the end. I do have a point in there. Okay, better. Okay, so what documents should you have organized? I am not going to go through every single one in this list, but I will kind of just let you see there are a lot. Okay, I will kind of briefly talk on them, but I will also say that I have this list written down for you. So you will get this provided to you at the end. Any type of financial statements, copies of driver's license, passports, birth certificates, marriage certificates, your estate planning documents, another page, right? And honestly, when I work on this, I always find that I'm adding more stuff to it, like cryptocurrency, right? That's a new kind of big thing. We see a lot of our clients that are now coming in with some type of crypto. It's important to have that documented somewhere. Copies of bills, deeds for your real property, any type of vehicles that you have, whether it's a car, if you have a boat, a motorhome, any type of divorce decrees that you have, marital settlement agreements, prenuptial agreements, documentations on your pets, safety deposit information. If you have one of those, that's always a really big one. Certified death certificates for anybody in your family. These are all important documents. And I give you this exhaustive list because I want it to, if anything, these probably will not all apply to you, but it'll at least let you know, and it might trigger something like, oh yeah, we still have this, right? We have this that I need to provide. And so that's what this list is meant to do, is to help you and to guide you. Okay. So ways to store documents. So these are different systems that I have seen over the years. I actually use the clear one in my home. And I like it because it's not so huge. I can put it in my safe, but it has that little carrier on it. And if I need to take it, I can, evacuate the house and take it with me if I need to. I've seen it done in binders, where you can use clear inserts to be able to put stuff in there. And then I've also seen just the big pack. It really depends on your family situation, right? What documents you have, how many you have, to find the system that works best for you. And this is really what it is, because if this isn't something that you want to do and that you're continuously doing, it's going to make it really hard for you to keep up with it, because it's this ongoing process. Okay, so what your goal is to find a strategy and system that works for you to get organized. And so what my thought is for today is I'm just going to share with you a strategy that we have and that we've implemented. And while it's an idea, right, take it how you want it, use what you like from it. But if anything, it can just give you an idea of what works best for your family to at least get you started. So here's how we have it broken out by kind of categories. And so if you look back to that system that I use, it's having, different tabs for each one. And so self and partner, kids, health, financials, house, employment, life insurance, legal documents, vehicles, and pets. And then also generally always going to have an other, something that doesn't really fit into that category. So you need to personalize this for your needs, right? Whatever the system is going to be. So if you don't have kids, you're not going to have a section for kids. Your kids might be your pets. And so you're going to put the pets closer, to the front for you because they are your kids. And I get that. But if you own a business, right, you might have a whole section on the business because there might be a lot of documentation when it comes to that business portion. And so again, it's figuring out what works best for you, where you kind of see these documents going into. But this is just an idea. And so I'm going to go through what we include. Okay. So let me just check the questions real quick. Okay, I think we're all caught up there. Okay, so in this organizing system, whatever you use, and I'm just going to say the folders, just to make it super easy. In my first tab, I have the tab for myself and my husband. And so in that tab, here are the things that I keep in there. So a certified copy of our marriage certificate. I say certified whenever I think it's important because getting certified copies of things, while it can be done, it takes time and it costs money. And so if you have them in this place, and so there are a few documents that you do need to have certified copies of for some things like DMV, I know right now, like especially for getting the real ID, having those certified marriage certificates are important. And so having that in there, copies of driver's license for you and your spouse or for you and your partner. Certified copies have an expiration date. I have never seen an expiration date on a certified copy, but now that you mentioned that, I will look. I don't have any certified documents with me right now, but I will definitely look at that. From my understanding, the certified copy, it just has it comes on kind of like different paper, and then it has a stamp that's embossed. And so you can feel the embossing on the certified copy. And it usually has like a signature of when they do it and a date. So it's very different from just like a photocopy. Copies of driver's license, identification card, copies of passports, that's really important. Birth certificates, if you have the certified birth certificates, it's like as things came together with my husband and I in our life, his mom randomly gave me his certified birth certificate. And so then I added it into our folder. I had mine, but, I'm just kind of accumulating this stuff. Social Security cards, and not copies of the Social Security cards. I actually keep my Social Security cards in this folder because I don't keep them on me, right? I don't keep them in my wallet to carry around. But I know that if I ever need them, they are in this folder because what else am I going to do with them? And so they just stay safely in this folder that all of the Social Security cards are in there. Emergency contact sheet and the A-team sheet. Those are things that we have these worksheets that we use that basically just, if there was an emergency, I'd have this information filled out. The A-team sheet, I call it your A-team because this is your list of professionals, right? These are the people that that you work with from a professional perspective. So like your estate planning attorney, your CPA, your financial advisor, life insurance agent, realtor, anybody from a professional level that you work with, having this list just makes it really easy. One, for you to know, right, their contact information. And then if something happened, I call them your VIPs, to be able to step in and know who to contact if necessary. Okay, so the next tab, the next section in this folder, I have children, right? So, whether they're minor children or adult children, you have this children's section. So copies of driver's license, identification card, copies of the kids' passports, the kids' birth certificates, their Social Security cards. I like to put the guardian nomination forms in there. So if you have minor children, you should have guardians nominated for those minor children. In our firm, we do both long-term guardians as well as short-term guardians. And so, I would have that in that section. And then school information and any records that you think are important that should be in there, to have that information in there. The idea when it comes to taking it beyond the step of organizing is writing down important information, right? Having having information readily available so that if something happened to you, right? If you ended up in the hospital tomorrow, would somebody be able to step into your shoes to be able to take your kids to school, right? Would they know that information? They might not, right? And so this is being able to provide that information of, where do the kids go to school? What are the kids' teachers? Any type of information. It's if it's anything, it's helping you have this peace of mind knowing that things would be taken care of. Okay. Where can you get certified copies? So it really depends on what you're trying to get certified copies of. So in Ventura, our county records office, so the county recorder, provides certified copies of marriage certificates, death certificates, birth certificates. I think you can actually go online and order them. And so that's usually where I would start with, is the county recorder's office of where you are to be able to get those certified copies. Okay, the next section is health. Thinking about this system is some sections are going to have not a lot of information, while other sections might have a lot more information. And so you just have to think of, do I need to separate things differently? And you might not know until you start doing it, and then you can always change it, but at least get started. That's the big thing. So in the health section, ideas and things to put in there: immunization records for each person in your home. And so like for adults, and, with everything going on now, it's obviously a little bit different than it used to be, but, like adults generally don't get immunizations as much. And so it's like, this is when I got a tetanus shot or whatever it is. For kids though, they might have a lot more. And so having those records in there just makes it easy for you to know where they are. Health insurance cards or copies of the health insurance cards, any type of medical records that you think should be kept. And so I'm not saying, okay, every single medical record that you've ever received should be in this folder. It's the important ones that, something that, talks about how there's this allergy, or, like something that has to do with a surgery. Like if you want to keep record of it, it makes it easy in that sense. It's not every time you go to the doctors that everything goes in here, right? It's just the important stuff that you want to keep. You want to make sure that it's known, or that you can remember it if you need to. There's also a medical professional sheet. This is something that we use, where it just lists who are the doctors that we use in our family, right? So primary care, for the adults, the pediatricians, who are the dentists for the adults, for the kids, eye doctors, so any type of medical professional that you see on a regular basis, being able to identify them by name, address, phone number, and just have that information in there. Again, if anything, it's just making sure that that information, you have it readily available, or that if somebody needs to step into your shoes to be able to do something, they know. Okay. Okay, next is financials, and I'm sorry if I'm going through this fast. We have a limited amount of time, and there's just a lot to get through, so I want to make sure that I can get through all of it for you and be mindful of your time. Okay, so financials, I find that this is probably going to be one of the biggest sections. So if you want to separate it out by different aspects of it, totally fine, but it's really just to kind of give you an idea of all of the financial stuff that can be involved. So bank accounts. And so when I say bank accounts, I'm not saying every month that you get your statement in the mail, you need to put it in this folder. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's for every bank account that you have, right? And if you are the type of person that has 5 different banks and you have like 2 accounts at each bank, then you need at least one record from every account that you have to show that you have this account. Okay. And so it's just being able to show that this is the one account that I have, or the 10 accounts that I have at this one bank, and at least just having one record that shows proof of that account. Investment accounts, retirement accounts, the same idea, right? I'm not asking for all of the documents ever created. It's just at least one statement from every single account that you have to show that you have this account. Because what I see on the side, that when a family comes to me and they've had somebody that passes away, they have no idea what accounts they have. And they are literally waiting for the mail to come to see what statements are coming in to be able to know what accounts. And I'm sure there are a lot of families that don't find all the accounts, and money just goes missing because nobody knows about it, right? Same thing with life insurance. people, I think, have this kind of idea that when somebody passes away, all this stuff will just magically appear. And, life insurance will call you and banks will notify you that there's these accounts, and that doesn't happen. You have to find them. You have to notify them. And so that's why it's important for people to understand what accounts there are. Okay. Prior year tax returns. This is good just for you to keep from to have your tax returns somewhere, but just like what the prior years were. So every year you kind of change it out. Again, you don't have to put every single tax return in this. You can, if you have some other system for that, but just having that readily available. Another really good idea is copies of any bills that you have. And so again, this goes back to that idea of, me dealing with families where people pass away. They don't know what bills need to be paid. And so by having, or what utility companies they subscribe to or, had services with. And so just having one of every bill that you have, and you kind of just take this as this ongoing process, right? That when something comes in, you're like, okay, I don't have that one in my important information. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get that statement in there, so that you just at least have one, because again, it's just having one of everything, right? So that it just has that information readily available. So ideas are, any utilities, cable, internet, phone, cell phone, trash, water, credit cards are an important one. So you know what credit cards are out there, mortgage, who the mortgage is with, if there's a mortgage or if there's rent that's being paid, any vehicle loans that need to be paid, student loans, any type of loans. How many years of tax returns do you need to keep? I am not a CPA. However, I think I've heard 7 to 8 years, but that is definitely a CPA question. Just because that is not my world of things that I deal with. Okay, next is your home. So looking at the tab for your home, we have recorded deeds that you have for your house, mortgage statements, homeowners insurance policies, any type of repairs that are done, or any warranty documents, like if you buy a new refrigerator and there's a warranty. If you rent your home, so that rental agreement and any type of renter's insurance. Okay, employment. This I think is a really big one, and a lot of times people don't consider that, if you are married and you and your spouse, let's say they work for a corporation, right? If something happened to your spouse, would you know who to contact? A lot of times you might not know, especially if it's a big corporation. And so having any documents related to human resources, what's this number to call, any type of pension contacts, keeping W-2s, reimbursements, receipts, having a copy of your resume. These are just ideas of things to keep in the employment section. Okay, life insurance. This is a big one because this is where I find a lot of times people are searching for stuff. Life insurance, so the insurance declaration page, always good to get a confirmation page for your beneficiaries to make sure your beneficiaries are updated. I recommend doing this once a year. The actual insurance policy that you have, it's also important to have the agent's information that you have your insurance policies through. If it's through work, you want to make sure, if something happened, does your spouse know or family know who to call from your work for any type of insurance benefits, okay? And this is for every single insurance policy that you have. Whoever has an insurance policy in your home, you should have this information for every single person. And the one thing I will say on this, if you can't find it, right? If you're like, I have no idea where to get that information, how is anybody in your family going to be able to find it if you can't find it? You at least know about it. And so this is why it's so important, is to make sure that you're doing this so that if somebody needed to do something, they would be able to find it. Okay, legal documents. So this, depending on what type of legal documents you have, if you have an estate plan, you might have an estate planning folder or portfolio like we have for our clients, but you can put, your will, power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, HIPAA. If you don't have these documents, we can assist you with that. That is what we do. Any other type of legal documents, prenuptial agreements, divorce decrees. Again, if you have any type of business interest, a partnership or something, putting any of those type of agreements in there. Okay, vehicles. So this is all the vehicles that you have. So including any cars, mobile homes, motorcycles, RVs, boats, planes. You probably laugh at the plane thing, but it does happen. People own planes and they can't find any information on them. How do you sell it as part of the estate? Anything relating to the loan documents, if there's or a lease on the car, insurance documentation, billing statements, so they know who the loans are through. Pink slips, this is a big one. I know people always lose pink slips, and then you got to go to the DMV and get those copies. So this is a place to keep those pink slips. Any type of warranties with the cars. Okay, pets, they are part of our family. So you want to make sure you have that information on your pets. And so information about each pet, if you have any records, date of birth, things about them, health information, their shot record, any type of receipts that you think are important to keep. If there's pet insurance, it's always important to make sure you have record of. Licensing and registration. So if they're, licensed through the county, if they're a pet with papers, making sure you have those documentation, and then what the vet information is for the pet. Where do the pets go to the vet? Okay, a couple other considerations as I am trying to wrap up here for you, is where to keep your important documents. So keeping your documents, you want to keep them somewhere that you know where to access them, right? It's easy enough for you to access. It's somewhere that's safe for you. The biggest thing is that wherever you have these documents is you want to make sure that you are letting your VIPs, these are your important people, whether it's your spouse, your family that would step in to act in an emergency, they need to know where these documents are. Oftentimes I see families that come to me where somebody's passed away, they can't find the will, right? They don't know where any of this documentation is. And so it's important that once you get the system together and you put it somewhere, you let your VIPs know where to find it and how to access it. So if you're going to lock it up in a safe, that's fine, but they need to have access to that safe. If there's a safety deposit box where you're putting stuff in, they need to know how to access that safety deposit box. And that is very important, right? It is the second most important thing when you're putting the system together is people need to know where to find it, okay? An idea that I've seen with some people, and depending on the document, is you want to scan some of these documents and upload the important documents to the cloud. And so I personally use LastPass. I like the system, the idea of how LastPass works. It's secure. It has these notifications where people that if something happens to you, they can actually access your stuff. And so it's like your backup people, right? Your VIPs that would get access to things. You can also put it on a USB drive and keep it somewhere else safe. The biggest thing is just get started, right? It is going to be this ongoing process, but you need to get some kind of system in place where it's just, yeah, this is what you do, right? You put these documents in, you get it. LastPass, yes, LastPass is the website. I will, it's literally just last, L-A-S-T, pass, P-A-S-S. And it's actually a password software that is used to save passwords, but it has all these other functions. And one of them is this notes function where you can upload documents. And so like my estate plan is uploaded in there. And so I have my estate plan saved in the cloud, right? So in this secure location that my VIPs can access it if something happened to us. Okay, just finishing up here. If you are overwhelmed and you need help, you can join our 10-day document organization challenge if you haven't already done it. The 10-day document organization challenge, it provides daily, like here's what you do on day one, and it breaks it out to kind of just help you get started and kind of keep that momentum going, okay? You get free printables with the challenge, and it kind of just helps break it into manageable tasks. I'm going to give you the link here to be able to sign up for the 10-day challenge, and you can start it at any time, right? It's this continuous thing that's going on to be able to help you. Okay. However, for joining our webinar today, I'm going to give you all of the printables from that 10-day challenge. So you just have access to them, right? You don't have to join the 10-day challenge for it, but if you want to, it kind of just helps you, stay accountable and stay on track. But this is going to provide all of those sheets that I talked about, like the emergency contact sheet, your medical contacts, insurance information, insurance agents. These are the printables that you can put in there. Okay. Okay. If you do not have an estate plan and you need help getting your estate plan done, so will, trust, guardian nominations, advanced healthcare directive, power of attorney, that is what we do. So you can go to our website to schedule a free 30-minute phone consultation to be able to figure out what you need, right? What's our process? What are pricing for this type of stuff? We are here for you to support you in whatever you need from that aspect. Okay, I am done and on time. And I will take any questions that you guys have. Let me go back through the chat here. Just to let you know, as any questions come in, you're going to be getting an email sometime later today where there will be a recording of this webinar. So if you missed any part of it, you will be able to see that replay. And then it's going to have links to the 10-day challenge. So if you do want to sign up for it, and if you, and it's also going to have a link to be able to access all of those free printables for you to be able to use in your system. And if you do the system and, things are going great with it and it's working well for you, send me an email and let me know. I'd love to get your feedback on it. I think this is just kind of this ever going process of just staying organized, right? If anything, it just gives you that feeling of having everything organized. It gives you that peace of mind. Thank you guys. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful for you and is going to give you some information to get started and help you get organized. I will give it a few minutes. So thank you again for joining me. This is the end of the webinar, but again, I will stay on for a few minutes to answer any questions that you have. But thank you again for joining me. Yes, so the free resources, that's going to be sent to you in an email, and it's going to be a link on our Google Drive where you can just go download all of the free printables from our actual 10-day challenge that we have. These are ones that I use in my system at home, and you should be able to either print them out and fill them out, or they're fillable, and then you can fill them out online and then print those so that you can include them in your organization. Yes, thank you, thank you. You are so welcome. Yes. Super basic information and just really great to just get started. Okay, I'll give it another minute for questions and see if anything else comes in. If not, thanks you so much for joining me. And we do these lunch and learns every month. So, stay tuned for next month's topic. You'll be getting an email about what that is if you want to join. And please share with your friends. If you have friends and family that you think would benefit from any of this information, please make sure to forward it to them. And if you don't already, please make sure to follow me on Instagram at Estate Planning Mom. I have lots of information on there on planning, things to do when it comes to minor kids, life insurance, probate, trust administration. Great, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon and stay safe.